Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Hello, Catholic pilgrims. Thank you for coming to join me today. We are going to be hearing more about eternity, and in my reflection, I'm going to have to appeal to people smarter than me. First, though, let's read our short reading from Book 11, Chapter 11, on page 261. People who speak in this way have not learnt to understand you, wisdom of God, light of our minds. They do not yet understand how the things are made which come to be in you and through you. Try as they may to savor the taste of eternity, their thoughts still twist and turn upon the ebb and flow of things in past and future time. But if only their minds could be seized and held steady, they would be still for a while, and for that short moment, they would glimpse the splendor of eternity, which is forever still. They would contrast it with time, which is never still, and see that it is not comparable. They would see that time derives its length only from a great number of movements constantly following one another into the past, because they cannot all continue at once. But in eternity, nothing moves into the past. All is present. Time, on the other hand, is never all present at once. The past is always driven on by the future always follows on the heels of the past, and both the past and the future have their beginning and their end in the eternal present. If only men's minds could be seized and held still, they would see how eternity, in which there is neither past nor future, determines both past and future time. Could mine be the hand strong enough to seize the minds of men? Could any words of mine have power to achieve so great a task? As I said in the beginning, I want to look at the words of some people smarter than me, and today I'm going to call on Jimmy Akin, Catholic Answers apologist. He says with regards to the word eternal, quote, "The word eternal has two meanings. First, something can be eternal if it lasts through all time. You can picture it as a ray that starts at a particular moment and then proceeds forward through all future moments, like an arrow pointing into the future. There are other ways you could imagine this arrow. It might point backward into the past, or it might point both forward and backward. But the key thing is that it represents an endless stretch of time, one moment after another going on infinitely. When you have an unending sequence of time like that, people say that it's eternal. It goes on for eternity. They also sometimes say that it is everlasting. But there's an even greater type of eternity, which is not part of time at all. You could picture this as a single point next to a line or arrow that represents time. Each point on the line is a different moment in time, but there's also a point that is not part of the line, that is by itself. This moment is also said to be eternal because it is not part of time. It's non-temporal or atemporal. We'll call this type 1 eternity because it's the greatest form of eternity, not being part of time. And we'll call the other type 2 eternity because it's a lesser form, just an endless stretch of time. Now, in 1215 at the Fourth Lateran Council, it was stated that we firmly believe and confess without reservation that there is only one true God, eternal, infinite, and unchangeable. So, reading the council in terms of what the word meant at the time, it confessed that God had type 1 eternity. He's fundamentally outside of time. And that's the understanding of the church today. In 1985, Pope John Paul II taught, because God cannot not be, he cannot have beginning or end, nor a succession of moments in the only and infinite act of his existence. Right reason and revelation wonderfully converge on this point. Being God, absolute fullness of being, his eternity inscribed in the terminology of being, must be understood as the indivisible, perfect, and simultaneous possession of an unending life, and therefore as the attribute of being absolutely beyond time. So, his eternity must be understood as being absolutely beyond time. And that's what St. Augustine is talking about today. God is beyond time. And so that's the end of Jimmy Akin's quote. However, it's a much longer article or discussion, so I will link it in the show notes. I thought the two definitions were pretty interesting and will probably help us better understand more of our readings from St. Augustine as we continue on. However, we will pause here for today, Catholic Pilgrims. We will pick back up tomorrow, but until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.